Okay. I know it's dark. I got you guys. This is so random. I don't know why I decided to just talk about this, but let's talk about Bridge to Terabithia. The remake and the original. And I'm going to talk about a little bit of the book too. Now, I haven't watched the original movie or read the book in such a long time. And I haven't watched the 2007 version of it either in such a long time. Mainly because it's shit. Look, if you guys like it, you like it. That's fine. But I did not enjoy that movie at all. It was all that Disney-esque whimsical of like la 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 ditsity ditsity la 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 la. Like nothing happened. But I do say this though, when the girl does die, they do actually take it serious, and you actually are like, surprisingly, the movie is fine after that. You know, it's almost like wow, they actually look at the '80s version, they actually accepted the hardships and everything like that. The '80s version that I watched in school, I don't know, it was aired on PBS, I believe. I wasn't born in the '80s, so I'm just guessing from what some people review and all that shit. And there's not a lot of videos about this movie, about the 1985 movie. I wonder why. Some people might not like the 1985 one, but that was made for a TV movie, and it was 1985, people. You know? Like, look at Stephen King's It. That shit was a TV show also, and didn't have all the things that you saw in the book. With all, you know, like, compared to the remake version, you know? But still, they did what they can with the creative freedom of it, or the creative style that they had with Terabithia, which I didn't mind. I completely loved how Bridge of Terabithia was the original 1985 version, and when I read the book felt like I was like when I watched the 1985 movie, I felt I was reading the book. I felt like this was the book action, you know, just live action, which no shit, but it just felt like it was straight from the book. Yeah, there was probably things missing and all that, but overall, you got it. I believe you got it. You know, to me, I think that hardship when she died even more is more tragic here in this movie than the 2007 one. Why? Because you spend time with the character, you know her, even the main character, you know her a bit, and you start getting, you know, a little tension between each other of like maybe they do like each other. And then all of a sudden, like in the book, she's dead. And just like everyone else, like if you watch Nostalgia Critics video about it of Rob Walker literally saying, "Did I skip the page and shit like that?" Yo, I was the same way when I was in school. I was reading that shit with the whole class, and then all of a sudden, she's dead. The whole class literally stopped, and we all looked at each other like, "What?" And I'm like, "Wait, miss, I think you missed a page here when the details of how she died." It's like, nope, she just died, drowned. That's it. Bye. We're not gonna go to the more gritty details, but yeah, that's how she died. And I'm like, you guys were just saying this like it was nothing. You put it away from us, you know. And that right there, in my opinion, I like that. Why? Because it's real. It is. It's real. And when you're a kid, that does happen. You spend time with someone, a family member or a friend you just met, or a family member you just met, and you're having a good time, and then all of a sudden they're gone, and you realize what the fuck just happened. I literally just met them not that long ago, you know. And it does remind me of a story that did happen. Like I knew a friend, and I wasn't really that close to him or anything like that, but we were getting a little bit close, you know. And I thought he was cool and everything like that. And literally, once I thought of like hanging out with him and maybe hanging out with other people and stuff like that, found out that he died. He drowned. I was like, holy shit. Knowing a close person that you met and talked to just gone. That does something. Even if you don't know them, you know, it does something at least. Because it's like, fuck. You know? It's just something. It is. It's something, guys. Because this movie, the original movie, and the book are just classics in my opinion. I think it is. The fact that the 1985 one doesn't get more recognition and it gets blindsided, mainly because people talk shit about the 2007 one. And yes, there's people that like it, and then it's mixed opinions. Some people like it, some people hate it. But the people that hate it don't even talk about the original. And the people that like it too don't even talk about the original either. Do you guys know that there is an original version of Bridge to Terabithia? You guys might be like, oh, but that one sucks because it's not magical and all that shit. You mean all that CGI shit that they put? Yeah, the reason they didn't put that in the original, yes, budget reasons, but they didn't need to. It was a kid's imagination. You have to be, if you were around that time when this book was in class and you were a kid and you read this book, you have nothing to say. But I guarantee you did read this book when you were the same age as me. And when you find this out, you were like, holy shit. And then when you watch the original movie in your school, you that hardship of her dying was even more impact because they were kids, they were talking about stuff for imagination and everything like that, but you didn't see it, which was fine in my opinion. Which was fine. I didn't mind that because they were kids. You can feel in the blinks yourself as an adult and as a kid. When the Disney version did that, I was like, come on, man. You ruined the mystique of Bridge of Terabithia. Literally. It's whatever you thought it was, and especially what the characters were. So whatever the characters imagined in the book and the original movie, that's how you imagine it too, but obviously a little bit different because it's your brain. You can't, it's almost like reading a book and they don't go as much detail and it's all to the viewer to decide what it looks like. And then when they put it in a movie, you're like, that's not it. That's not what I imagined, you know? Because it's always a different viewpoint for a director or for a writer. A lot of people don't take that into consideration. Why? Because people are fucking idiots. They really are. They're fucking idiots. But sometimes a director or a writer just does it because they're assholes too. So there's assholes all around. Congratulations. All of you should fucking marry each other and have babies, I guess. But overall, the 2007 one, it really did nothing for me. I watched it, but it did nothing for me, man. It did nothing for me. I'm surprised Disney even made this fucking movie. This movie should have been made by Warner Brothers. Yes, it should have been made by Warner Brothers. Definitely not Sony. But Warner Brothers, I guarantee you, if Warner Brothers did make this movie, I think it would have been an instant classic. They would have done the whole, fairy tale stuff, like magic and all that shit, like imagination type stuff, maybe. But at least I think Warner Brothers, look, that's what I like about Warner Brothers. Yes, you guys might not like some of their movies and shit, but at least they still have fun with their shit. Even if you think it's shit, at least they having fun making that shit. When you watch Disney trying to do that, you're like, no, stop it. Because when they try, they push an agenda. Not to say Warner Brothers doesn't try to, but there's more people in Disney that tries to push a narrative than Warner Brothers is. Just saying, all right? Literally. Because I don't think Warner Brothers, in my opinion, I don't think Warner Brothers can afford that shit to happen. I mean, they could, and they could afford that shit to happen, but would they want to? No. For kind of like, look at all the stuff that's happening with their DC stuff. I don't think they want to step on any toes that Disney has been doing lately, So, but most people be like, what are you talking about, man? This is not like the Star Wars situation and shit like that. Well, people still talk about it. It still affects Disney in a way, and it still kind of affects some Disney fan bases. Like, again, some Marvel fans and also some Star Wars fans. Because if it affects Star Wars, it's going to affect Marvel. And if it affects Marvel, it's going to affect Star Wars. Even the guy that's making Star Wars right now, even the guy that's making Star Wars good and bringing it back to the limelight of good, the reason all these Marvel stuff are not doing as great is because he's like, you guys already seen the great stuff. Now I'm got to fix Star Wars. Hey, for me to suck up to what Disney's doing, I have to make this shit, And then in the meantime, I'm making the good shit with Star Wars. I make the bad shit so Disney can let me do my Star Wars project, Stuff like that. Sometimes we need to take a fucking L. Sometimes we do, guys. It is. It's business at the end of the day. Sometimes you have to make something shit for you to make something great. Man, it happens, man. It is. It happens. And I got no problem with none of these actors in the 2007 version except for the main actor because he's actually actually an asshole now. I like if you look at some of his videos, like if in the Tonight Show and shit like that, he's always like, yeah, I want to try flesh, like human flesh. He wants to be like a cannibal. The fuck? And everyone's laughing and shit like that. Like, I don't want to get deep into that because this is not an enlightenment video. But the reason I'm mentioning that shit is it's fucking disturbing when an actor wants to fucking be a cannibal and then everyone surrounded by him is laughing and you're like, like it's fucking normal. Like it's fucking normal. It fucking drives me crazy. It really does, man. And that's one of the reasons why I haven't reviewed Terabithia, which is the sequel to Jumanji. I haven't watched that movie in a while just because this motherfucker was in the movie and all the shit that he is. I'm just like, fuck him. But, you know, it is what it is, I guess. But these movies are great. Like I mean, the first original movie, in my opinion, is fun. It's fine. It does what it needs to do. It doesn't have to be this big epicness that people just want for Bridge to Terabithia. Guys, if you read the book as much as I did, well, I didn't read the book a lot, but if you read the book like I did, you know that it's not a fucking epic. It's not Star Wars. Literally, it's not Willy Wonka the Chocolate Factory. It's not... It's funny that I compared that. It's not James and the Giant Peach. It's not a book that does adventure. It's a book that is surrounded by realism. And you meet people along the way, and sometimes those people go away. You know? So that's what the book is really about. What happens if someone goes away when you're young? And especially if you care about them and spend really much time with them. What does that happen? What does happen to you? Do you cry? Do you stick to that for a long, long time? Because it changes people. A lot of people don't know that. Like, some people can't see my face a bit, but I'll say this right now. Like, let's see. Yeah, I say this right now. Like, it changes people. Like, it literally changes people. Sometimes for the good, sometimes for the bad. Some people see their family members and friends die, and they get... Like, look at all those people that came from war, all traumatized and shit. And then all of a sudden, the U.S. government doesn't want to do shit for them. Oh, thank you for serving our country, and now you're a piece of shit. It's nice to know that everyone surrounded you cares about your sacrifice, but the government would never give a fuck about that because they see you as a joke. They use you as a puppet to fight in their wars, and yet none of you guys don't think about the trauma that you will get, and then all of that stuff that they will fucking treat you. Like, you might come back as a hero to some people, but the government's eyes, they're laughing at your face because all that trauma you took in. They don't care. They really don't care. That's how much they don't care. All right? The more army they have, the better, because they don't care, you know? So... It's almost the reason I mentioned that too is look at the Disney version. The Disney version, it felt like they didn't care. I'm sorry. When I watched the Disney version of Bridge to Terabithia, I'm just like, do they even care? Do they even care? And yes, look, some of the imagination stuff in that movie is not bad at all. It's just the execution should have been so much better. You know the part when they're fighting, when they're chasing in the woods, and then you see like shadows and everything like that, but you're not really seeing them? Shit like that is great. When I first saw that shit, I'm like, oh, okay, I can see what you're doing now. Oh, okay, you know what? I'm starting to get into it. And then you stopped. And then when you stopped, I was like, what the fuck's wrong with you? You had something there that you could have just branched off from the original. But you didn't. You didn't. And I'm not saying you did the exact... I'm saying you're doing beat by beat of the original movie. You're not. You're still doing something new, but it's not as good as it should be. You know something's there that wants to get out in the remake of Bridge to Terabithia, but does not want to get out, mainly because Disney's holding it back. Because Disney... Every time there's a little bit of darkness, Disney wants to push that back in. I recently just heard that they want to put Logan and Deadpool. So that sounds like a good sign. But what if they edit those parts of the violence and shit? You know, piss people would be. For crying out loud, they already edited The Simpsons. I wonder if they fixed that and shit like that. Let me know if they did. But I haven't checked out The Simpsons mainly because they fucking decided to literally put it up close. Just because you don't, because, oh, we don't want to offend people that what you see in the background. It's The Simpsons, you dumb motherfucker. Then you know what? You should never bought Fox, you idiot. Like, for crying out loud, what, at one point, think about this. At one point, Fox could have had South Park. That means Disney could have owned South Park. You mean to tell me South Park, the way it is right now, you think it would have been the way it is right now if Disney owned it? No, they would have canceled that shit. All those people would have been fired. Guarantee you. Guarantee you. Alright? Guarantee you. And all the shit that they censored in some of those South Park episodes, they will censor it even more. Call a spade when it comes to Disney, man. It's funny because they don't want to do that, but yet when people talk about Son of the South, or like bringing that shit back because you hiding history, and Disney's basically saying that doesn't exist. Hey, at least Warner Brothers acknowledged the whole racy shit. When they acknowledged that, I looked at Warner Brothers. I'm like, you know what? You're the bigger man. You have bigger balls than Disney does. Why? Because Disney still wants to hide Son of the South like it never fucking goddamn happened. And that's fucking bad. That's terrible. That's evil. That's evil. Okay? That's Disney evil, to be honest. And Disney's doing it. So look at that. So, I'm sorry. I'm going everywhere on this video, but I just have to get some of my thoughts out there about Disney and the stuff, how I feel. But, yeah, I don't have a problem with the original Bridge to Terabithia. I loved it as a kid. I haven't watched it in a long time. It is on YouTube, so you could probably watch it free on YouTube. But I had fun with it. You know, it was nice for what it was, and it didn't have to do more. It didn't. It knew what it was. It knew its budget. It knew its audience, and it did what it had to do. And for that, the original 1985 version of Bridge to Terabithia gets, literally to me, an A+. It does. It gets an A+. Especially after the main chick dies. Spoiler, the book has been around for a long time. The show has the movie. I think I think people look at the original, the 2007 version, the 1985 version, which again is sad. Because you wouldn't have the remake if you didn't have the original. Yeah. Something that the horror community, the horror fans know about. Right? Seriously. You could put a lot of stuff with movies and video games, of the mindset of horror, horror community, So, mainly because the horror community that loves horror movies and horror video games or novels or anything like that, they understand and overstand the meaning of simplicity. And that's why I love about this movie. It's so simplistic, but yet it is telling you what it's supposed to fucking tell you. And the thing is, too, I don't remember the movie just beating around. It's not like, pop, 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 fucking. And the best thing is, too, the remake doesn't do that either. When the girl dies, it's not like, oh, I feel sorry for her. No. The book doesn't do that. The original movie doesn't do that. And the remake of the movie doesn't do that. So you know what? For that, I do give it a positive for all book, original movie, and the remake movie. So, I always wanted a sequel. I don't know why I wanted a sequel. I don't know why. Maybe because the original would, hurt me so much. And I just wanted that girl to come back. Maybe the imagination that he went through is just him literally seeing her. And then most people are like, oh, that could be another version of the book. Oh, is he going crazy? Is it really seeing her? But this would be a little older version of him. Maybe a little bit, maybe what, 15, 16, because I think they were kids, maybe not, almost teenager, almost to 13 or 12, or maybe exactly 13 and 12, almost to 15 to 14 to 15, so they were getting there at least, but, I don't know, man, because I feel like this story right here could push more. But then, will it become Bridge to Terabithia, or will it become something else. That's the thing. You got to keep that balance, you know? So, and I even heard a comment that there was no bridge in this movie, like the original movie. I do remember some, like, rope that they made, and then they have to go cross through it or some shit like that. Again, I haven't watched the movie in a long time. Maybe I'm thinking about the remake. But maybe one day I'll watch these movies again and I'll make a video about it. But as of right now, probably not. I just wanted to get this out there mainly because I was looking at some random videos of British Terabithia for no fucking reason. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm 29 years old. You know, next year I'm going to be 30, so maybe that's why. You know, looking at my old shit and just, you know, analyzing my you know, my childhood and shit like that, you know. But and stuff that I've read and stuff that I've done, stuff that I've seen. So, if you guys haven't seen the original Bridge Terabithia, if you haven't seen it, I recommend you see it. Hey, if you don't like it, that's fine. At least we got the book, and the book is a classic. It is. The book is a classic. And hey, if you don't care for the two movies, at least you got the book. And the book is the best one out of all two of them, actually. So, and for some reason too, I feel like wasn't there supposed to be a remake of this movie too? Like around 2012 or 2016? I could have sworn they were supposed to make a remake of this movie again. I don't know why. There was a 2007 one. You know, maybe someone saw that movie and they're like, they fucked up. And then they watched the original and they were like, this is good. What's wrong with these people? You know? So, the thing is, look, I compared the Bridge to Terabithia 1985 version to literally Where the Wire Things Are, the movie. I cannot stress that enough. Where the Wire Things Are, the movie, is so fucking good. It is so good. When I watched that movie the first time, I was so happy. That was my favorite book as a child. I even stole the little figure, the little, you know, the main character, main kid. I even stole the little plushie as a kid in my school. I fucking shoved that shit in my pocket and took that shit home. That's how much I was a fan of this fucking book, man. And when I heard they made a movie of Where the Wire Things Were, I was hyped. I was ecstatic. I wasn't pissed or anything like that. I saw the pictures and everything like that. I'm like, oh my god, it looks so real. And then when I found out that there were puppets with CGI, I'm like, this is what I'm talking about. See, you don't have to get rid of puppets. This shit, it still looks good and still looks beautiful. Even the Dark Crystal Age of Resistance on Netflix even proved that. And they still don't want to fucking goddamn do it. Even the new Star Wars stuff, they still using puppets and CGI. But no, you still don't want to fucking goddamn do it, you lazy fucking piece of shit, Hollywood. God. If you can do that, I think more people will look at your movies and feel like, you know what, that's real. That's gritty. I can feel it. Because that's what's missing with movies nowadays. There's no grittiness. Every movie looks the same. Where's that grittiness? Where's that raw feel? Where is it? Where is it? Me and my friends, we always complain about this. Modern movies are too much produced. It's literally like WWE, man. Which is why I like the original Bridge to Terabithia. It's not overproduced. You don't have to overproduce it. And look, if there was any young people, young adults, you know, that are looking at this video and they don't agree with me, look, I'm not going to say you're stupid or anything like that. I'm just going to tell you, you don't understand, mainly because you didn't live around the time that I lived, you know, and, you know, you could say it was just an old geezer being like, oh, back in my day, you know, but it's true. If you weren't there, you wouldn't understand. It's almost like when you hear stuff about slavery and you know it's fucked up and you know it's really fucked up, but you know, you can't talk to those people that were there because they're dead. Not obviously because some of the stuff that in slavery, yes, but some of them moved on and some of them had kids and eventually died of natural causes. because they lived their life. They're not going to tell the story about slavery because, they're not around. Now, if you talk about it in a spiritual enlightenment way, the only person that can talk about it is these fucking rich people. Right? But that's as far as I'm going to go. Because they talk about that shit every day. Because they can't stop talking about how we fell in frequency. So, but that doesn't matter. We're rising back up anyways, which is a good thing. So, moving on. Richard Terabithia, whatever version you see, even if you read the book, I'm sure you have a fine time. Even if, look, again, I'm not a fan of the 2007 one, but I'm sure you probably find something there that you like. Kind of like I did. There was some stuff in that movie that I did like. But overall, I can just skip it and not, think about it anymore. The more I think about it now, the more I'm like, okay, there's some things that are coming to me. But if you tell me right out of the street, hey, remember Richard Terabithia 2007? I'm going to be like, no, I don't remember it. I have to literally sit there and think about it. With the original 1985 version, I don't have to. I might have to think about it a little bit because it's been years since I've seen it. But if you told me Richard Terabithia, I'm like, yo, yeah, I love the original movie. Sometimes when I do bring out the original movie, the people are like, there's an original movie? And other people are like, what are you talking about, the 2007 one? I'm like, no, not that crap, That's the thing. No one doesn't know that there's an 85 version of this movie, which is sad. It's sad. This movie should be talked about more. It really should. It really fucking should. It deserves to be talked about. It deserves to be mentioned. And it deserves to get some love. It does. It does. For crying out loud. Because, in my opinion, for the people that love the book for Richard Terabithia, I think those hardcore fans, I'm not going to consider myself a hardcore fan of the book, but I will call myself a casual or a fan. At least for those people, at least, give those people what they want, And I don't know how people felt with the 85 version when it first came out. I saw reviews about it. People don't care for it, but they didn't care for the remake anyway, so, And the thing is, too, these fans that love Richard Terabithia, they deserve to have a good movie. And to my opinion, the 85 one is decent and it's passable. It checks all the marks, in my opinion, of what a Richard Terabithia movie should be. Because these, again, going back, these are kids. You could add that imagination element and then you can put what they're seeing on screen and shit like that. You could do that fine. But at the same time, to me, simplifying it and making it just you putting the pieces in your head of what are they seeing, it's just great and better. To me, it's more watchable too. Why? Because you could be like, what did they see? You can debate, you can have theories, And you could be like, maybe that was a wolf, maybe that was a creature, maybe that was a giant. Who knows? We don't know because they saw it, but the viewer, the person that's reading the book, we don't know it. They might do descriptions and all that because it's all, again, that's what the author is trying to do. Make you imagine it because that's what it's supposed to be. Just be imagination. That's what it is. It's around the time when you're a young youth, still in that, young youth phase of imagination, but still in that adult phase that, you're getting rid of imagination because school is a piece of shit. I'm not getting into that, but there's a reason why they want you to feel unimaginative in fucking school, alright? There's a reason why people don't fucking like school in general. So, I think that's it, guys. I'm surprised I had fun talking about this. I guess I am a hardcore fan of Richard Terabithia. I don't even have the book, but I think I should. It's not bad of a book, and the original movie, to me, is an instant classic and would never be touched. It would never be outmatched. Just because what I mentioned, how I felt while I was watching this movie, even thinking about it now, it just pulls the heartstrings tells me that someone that made this actually gave a fuck and wants to like use their budget wisely. And I love that shit. I love when a movie can use their budget wisely. I love when it doesn't even have to be on TV. Like, I just love when a studio looks at their budget and be like, okay, we could do this, we could do that. All right, that's a little too much, but we could do this. You know? I love it. I do. I just love it, love it, love it, love it. I just do. You know? And the thing is, too, there are some people sometimes that will be like, oh my god, they cut the budget of this movie. That's so terrible. And sometimes I might agree with you. But other times, other times I might disagree with you. Because maybe the producer, the writer, even the director, they see that as an advantage. And they feel like if they had that advantage, if they had that stress, basically, they will walk better and walk faster and make a good coherent story. I mean, look at the people, again, that make South Park. They only take 6 days a week to literally make one episode of South Park. And if Matt and Trey Parker are literally sitting there trying to brainstorm what they want, everyone around them are not walking at all. Seems like a nice place to walk, to be honest, because if they're not walking, you're not walking. So you're just chilling there waiting for these guys to come in to tell you what to make. Must be a fun job, to be quite honest. You know, not many jobs will literally be like, yeah, I'm waiting for my boss to tell me what to do so I can actually work. Not many jobs would do that, guys, because if they did, they'll be out of business. They would. You know, imagine Disney doing that. Or Warner Brothers. None of their shorts or none of their movies will be coming out. They'll fucking delay that shit, man. Me, I take my time with my shit. You know, shout out, I am going to end this video right now. But I want to tell you guys that I am making a short. It's not, hopefully it's not long. But I am making a little, like, homage of a Looney Tunes short. And if people like it, I am planning to do more. Because I just wanted to get it off my chest. You know, I am making my own video game. I haven't touched it in a while. But I'm just doing other things that get my creative juices and all that. And it does help me, too. Because since I do want to be a video game designer, I can literally take... Even if I go to higher realms, that's still my dream, you know, to be a video game designer. And doing hand-drawn animation, the way Looney Tunes were made and everything like that, is so great that you can translate that into video game form, you know? So, again, I could talk about that another day, but this is about Bridge to Terabithia. Watch it if you haven't watched it, the original. Again, it's on YouTube. If you have to pay for it, fuck off. You don't do that. Hey, please don't pay for a movie that came out in the 80s. Please don't do that. I'm sure you can watch it for free somewhere. So, other than that, take care of yourselves, guys, and tell me what you guys think about Bridge to Terabithia. You know, and tell me what you guys think about some of my thoughts of the whole video. You know, so I don't know. There's no words that I can say about this movie and the book. I just really like it. And I just hope that it gets a cult following. Because it deserves it. It fucking deserves it, man. If it doesn't deserve it, at least it deserves a little, you know, a little kiss. You know, a little kiss on the cheek that tells the book and the movie that, you know, you are loved beyond measure. You are loved, alright? Fuck what anyone says. You are loved beyond measure, alright? And don't let no one tell you different. You know? So, I'll see you guys later. Be safe. And if you haven't watched this movie, like I said, watch it.